So now we'll move on to James, and James is a digital solutions lead at AECOM, working across water, ports, power sectors in the UK and Ireland. And James, it's a great privilege to invite you to the stage, please, for your presentation. Thank you.
Thank you, Claire. So just a quick overview of myself. So I am the digital solutions lead at AECOM across water, ports and power. I've been with AECOM now for 16 years. As part of my time there, I've been very fortunate that I've been able to work in North Africa, New Zealand and Australia. As part of my role within AECOM, I sit within a business unit with 2,000 digital practitioners across the globe, and that's across water, that's across buildings and places, transportation, the whole shebang. I'm also a steering group member for the BIM for Water, and I'm also trying my best to drive adoption across the water industry and across our clients. So my conversation today is going to be around how we can design smarter and how we can improve that flow of information from the design construction phase into operations. So at the moment, I think we touched on this earlier with Bola's presentation, we're pretty good at that delivery phase, but actually we tend to lose quite a lot of information as we move into the asset management phase when we're using our BIM workflows. So during the design, one way we've looked to speed this up and to assist better operational abilities is we look to build standard libraries for components. We look at how we can capture our objects or existing buildings, and how we can use automated design solutions and DFMA to speed up those design processes. So I just want to quickly touch on our smart object libraries. So within AECOM, what we've done is we've built a library across all of our sectors and our major clients. So what that enables our teams to is to go into those areas, those catalogues, pick out the correct information, the correct Revit families, which are classified, and then we can pull that straight into our design and use downstream for the more impressive things, for the 4D modelling, etc. As I touched on, they're all classified to Uniclass 2015 as a minimum, but we also can use tools like Invacara's BIM Classify to then map those classifications to other codes globally. These standard libraries are really the foundational piece to then build on with our automation tools and computational design. So within AECOM, we've worked really hard to try and automate processes where we can and designs. Like most of the industry, we are struggling with recruitment and retention of staff. There's big pressures globally. So what we've tried to do is where we can automate a process, we can do that very, very rapidly with our standard libraries and push out to our designers. So you don't necessarily need to be a Revit modeler to be able to populate your designs. But with automation comes a big concern from engineers around what's going to happen to our jobs. So we have to be very careful on the change management there and upskilling of those engineers to ensure that they themselves feel comfortable automating. Cool. So I'm just going to go into a quick case study here, a project I was involved with recently. So this is Durley Water Treatment Centre in Bridgewater in England. So we took a huge number of digital tools in this project. So it was an existing site, so we had no as-built information, so that golden thread we didn't have. So we had to go out there, we had to use ground penetrating radar, UAVs, and laser scanning to understand the existing assets condition and how the existing pipework will fit together. From that, we used a range of tools. We used Plant 3D, Revit, Navisworks to ensure that we had a competent design that our operational staff within the Wessex Water were happy with and to sign off. We also brought in the Igloo, which was a 6-metre immersive cylinder. And again, through gamification, we could then use Xbox controllers to walk around the proposed design. Operations were happy with where valves or maintainable pieces of equipment were. So again, we could accelerate that signing off period from the client. And it was all hosted in the CDE, project-wise. So the benefits derived from the digital delivery we had improved stakeholder buy-in and engagement. We were able to unlock modular build. So we went down a stainless steel route, which we could just deliver tanks to site and then drop in walkways and associated pipework, which in turn enabled us to unlock 6 months program savings. And all of this coupled together with all the additional digital savings where we were running clash detections as we were delivering tanks, we estimate that we saved approximately £2.5 million during the construction phase. So that was really successful from a digital perspective. So then our client, the buzzword was around we want a digital twin. How can we take that forward? We don't just want to leave the data we've gathered at the construction phase and commissioning. So we had to sit down with our client and try and explain to them that there's multiple digital twins. Okay, so we had to identify somewhere where we're going here. So we had to identify what they wanted to use the twin for. So operational staff wanted to be able to understand how the plant was performing, but asset management also wanted to understand when they need to go in to maintain. So as part of that, what we had to do is we had to sit down with all of the stakeholders involved and sort of map out what those use cases were, which in turn give us the primary use cases. But when you're in a room with people that are passionate about how this technology can help them become more efficient, run their plants more effectively, the secondary use cases that come out of those discussions are quite incredible, and things that you wouldn't necessarily consider unless you have all of the right team in the room. So if any of you are to start a digital twin journey, please ensure that you have those end users in the room before the management just decide, we want to understand how much energy we're using. But okay, that's great, but why? So some of the benefits this digital twin provided, again, using Invicara's platform. So we were able to offer operational staff day one asset readiness. So effectively, the plant's turned on, they have all of their operations and maintenance information. They understand exactly what valve is where in 3D space on the screen, and they can then click through that asset and understand exactly when that needs to be maintained. We can dashboard the live operational through SCADA, so understand exactly how those pumps are performing, are they overheating? And the great thing about the solution we use here with Invicara is it's so easy to navigate. The training's minimal. You can just go in, it's very user-friendly, you can spin around the model. You can either go in the 3D environment, or in fact you can also then go and sort of search through an asset, through a database. The major benefit for the water companies is obviously with climate change and water shortages globally, we can predict when an asset will fail before it fails. So in turn, those costly shutdowns where you're not producing any water, they tend to go away because your teams can get out, a bit of early intervention and ensure that asset runs sweetly. So this is sort of a stage one on where we are, but for future opportunities is we would like to be in a place where we had live inventory in operational vehicles, so we understand what tools they have, what spares they have on board. So when a job rec gets sent out, not only does it go to the person who's potentially closest, but also the person who's got the right tools to complete the job. Obviously, smart lenses we've heard a bit about today. Again, if we can get into a space where we've got your smart goggles on and then you can literally just click on that O&M and it's in front of you with then maybe a video or some sort of augmented reality on how to repair that piece of equipment, that would be superb. And as these twins sort of get taken on within our clients' portfolios, we can start to benchmark then how one asset is performing to another. And the analytics side of things, and once we really get to understand then actually why is this plant not performing quite as well as this exact plant over here, again, it will open up some opportunities for our clients to save some money. So just finally for me then, just so for some considerations before you start your digital twin journey, we have to ensure that information management strategy at the front end of the project is robust enough to carry through into operations. Let's not just have an information management plan which stops at the delivery of the asset. We need to ensure that we've got the right data carrying through into operations. Cloud-based twins enable seamless handover, but again, there are some clients that are concerned about having all of their information on their assets hosted in the cloud, so we need to consider that and work with our clients to put their minds at rest. And in the water industry, one of the biggest challenges I have is we work in AMP cycles, and the shareholders want to see a return over 5 years. So you need a really robust return on investment, and sometimes 5 years isn't enough. You will see a return, I'm sure of it, but you need to look further ahead. So again, going back to an earlier point made, maybe we need to look at how those contracts and how those regulatory cycles are looked at more widely within the industry. And I think that's everything from me. Thank you very much for listening.